says raising kids in New York is a privilege. And I believed that for a very long time. Until something changed and I was like, is it though? Because somewhere along the line, it stopped feeling like a life and it started feeling like performance. And let me be clear, like we were very grateful. We loved New York. We weren't struggling financially, thank God. So this is not a bitterness story, it's a clarity story. Because when you have kids, things start to hit differently. In our neighborhood, there were 2 shootings before we left. And in total, 4 people lost their lives. So yeah, our neighborhood was considered family friendly and a nice neighborhood. And you tell yourself, especially in New York, that, oh, you know, gun violence doesn't affect me, until it does, and until it's very close to home. And then there was healthcare, of course, because our family plan for us 4 cost $1,600 a month, or a little more than that, every month. And giving birth to our second child with insurance cost $13,000 total. And I know that I picked a very specific hospital and specific care, but still, I mean, $13,000. And that doesn't include all the thousands of dollars we spent afterwards to fix things that are considered normal postpartum for women. So yeah. And then nobody talks about all the mental toll, the calls, the chasing, the admin work when you're supposed to be healing from having a baby. And instead, like the system in America just totally fails you. So I just started also seeing New York's whole vision of making it in a different light. I'm like, wait a second, this doesn't make sense. And my 4 months of maternity leave, fully paid, were considered generous. And then it was straight back to work full time in corporate America. And nobody prepares you for that. Like nobody prepares you for the amount of productivity that is expected from you after you've just given birth. And you're still literally healing in pain and emotionally very raw. So yeah, you just expected to snap back right into productivity like nothing happened. And then there's the cost of providing your children with a lovely childhood. I mean, none of this is mandatory, but our 3-year-old gymnastics class was $675 per quarter. And the music class was $450 for 2.5 months. Someone once told me that they would never move to Nairobi because of the gap between the rich and the poor. And the uncomfortable truth is, though, that this gap exists in New York as well. If your kids' activities cost that much in New York, you're already in a bubble of people that is able to afford that. And quite frankly, after COVID, 1 in 4 children in New York lived under the poverty line. And then housing was the final straw, I guess, because when we looked at upgrading our 2-bedroom to a 3-bedroom, just to have more space with 2 children, we saw a listing close to our neighborhood, for $14,000 a month. At some point, you just stop asking yourself why you're not trying harder, and you wonder, like, who is this city really built for? What we felt most of wasn't the financial pressure, it was the lack of space. Like, of course, physical space, but also mental space, emotional space, to just breathe, just be a family. And corporate America just means that you're on all the time. And even motherhood became something to optimize. There was always room for improvement. And we didn't leave New York because we hated it. We loved New York, truly loved it. But loving something doesn't mean that you owe it your life, you know? You can love something and outgrow it at the same time. And there's just a moment where you stop asking yourself, like, can we make it work? And wonder, why are we forcing this? So yeah, that's when I knew it was time to choose a different rhythm and a different definition of success and safety, and especially freedom. And I'm happy we did.